Strap me in, Daddy. It's myth-keeping time. Today, we are discussing A Court of Thorns and Roses, chapters 1 through 8. We are your hosts. I am Scott, and joining me, as always, he's been sneaking off to the abandoned barn outside of town with Isaac Hale.
Heyo.
It's Zachy Boy. How are you today, pal?
I am currently trying to get strapped on, Daddy.
Hell yeah, strap me on, Daddy.
Dude, I'm doing good, bud.
Excellent.
You doing all right?
Are you as excited as I am to start this new Mythkeepers journey, this new series journey? This is an exciting as hell time, bud.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Got
a new look, as you beautiful people can see and probably hear.
Yeah, for the visual listeners, a new look. For the audio listeners, we still sound like the same dumbasses.
Like the same dipshits.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we've got a lot going on. We are diving into a brand new series, and our first series here on Mythkeepers. So first off, thank you to anybody who has followed us from the We Don't Want a podcast and come over to Mythkeepers to continue, I guess, digesting our shenanigans.
True.
We've got a lot planned, guys. A Court of Thorns and Roses is step one, but there's many, many, many more that we would like to enjoy and discover with your all's help.
We're like a delicious cake. We got so many layers.
Or like an onion?
Nah, I don't like onions, though, so...
Anyway.
Parfait. Why are we just doing Shrek gags?
I mean, Shrek is love.
Shrek is love. Shrek is life. True.
Hell yeah. Yeah, so what the hell are we doing here, Scott?
We're jumping into this series. I don't know what you've gotten me into, Zach. This is something apparently called A Court of Thorns and Roses. Something until, a couple months ago I had never heard of. Was not aware existed, knew nothing about, still know very little about it aside from what we read in these first 8 chapters.
Yeah.
But this is apparently what the people like, what the people wanted.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to give them. We're all about the people, the casuals,
Totally.
We're here for them.
Yeah. I've got a couple friends who have been very adamant about me getting on A Court of Thorns and Roses, and the few times that it crept up into conversation back on the We Don't Want a podcast, a lot of you guys were like, yo, fucking do this.
Yeah.
So Scott and I said, all right, let's see what it tastes like. Give me a taste of the good life.
Give me a taste of that good life.
Give me a taste of the good life. Yeah, so we're hoping we get some special eagle powers. And, I think, well, hold on. Do you know anything about, do you have any expectations for this?
I had none. You described it as like, fantasy fairy porn books series. And I was like, strap me on, Daddy. I'm in.
Yes.
I knew so little. Other than that, it's apparently extremely popular. I didn't know the name of a single character. I didn't know the premise other than that one sentence you gave me. I am just a babe in the woods going into this.
Same. Yeah, I mean, other than people telling me that it's basically just like smutty.
Yeah, I feel like since you're on the socials more, like surely people told you more, right?
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing is like even as I've seen stuff on socials, there's so many of these books that have recently blown up.
Oh, true.
In like the whole like romantasy genre.
Love that name, by the way.
That anytime I see anything about a character which now I will have to avert my eyes, of course, because now I'm learning these characters, but there's just so many of them that I never knew really what it applied to. Like, I think there's another really big one called Throne of Glass, and like, Crescent City, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. But yeah, so I have known that it is a big thing in the world of fantasy and adult fantasy, but I never have experienced anything like this, and I know literally nothing about the story going in. So, yeah, you guys get to listen to two shithead 30-year-old men who don't read this type of fantasy, discover and learn and dive into it. And yeah, I guess we'll be the judge on if this is worth the hype or not.
Worth the hype, yeah. This is as raw reacts as you're gonna get here. This is also gonna be fun because me and Zach are both, experiencing this for the first time, which is not how we did our last book series, Harry Potter. Zach was very familiar and I was not. So this is gonna be fun, I think, for us to discover this together. I was gonna, I got my nice book here with me for
nice.
reference. I got the hardback because I'm not, because I'm extra. I'm not a filthy casual.
Hey. There's nothing the matter with the paperback.
No, there
okay?
is. You're a filthy casual, and I will henceforth refer to you as such.
Okay.
But I because we know so little, I don't think there's anything else to do except maybe some plugs, Zach, if you want to. But jump in here.
Yeah. So listen, if you guys are finding us for the first time, welcome. Welcome to Mythkeepers, and we hope that you guys stay along for the ride. Some things that you can expect from us, since this is episode 1. We are talking fantasy. In this case, we're talking adult romantasy, and we'll see how long we keep this thing going with ACOTAR. Hopefully we like it, and we just do the entire series. I don't know. We might hate it and say, fuck this.
Always possible.
But what you can expect is we will be talking fantasy and fiction and everything in between, whether it's television, movies, books, you name it. Might get a little bit of video games in there. We both do get into that shit.
We do those video games.
You can expect some really bad jokes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We might talk about edging. We might talk about wieners. We might talk about you guys being filthy commons. Do not take it personally.
The weens and the vagines. We'll definitely talk about those in this series.
Weens and vagines. Yeah, and if you would like to keep up with what we're doing, you can follow us on Instagram and on TikTok at Mythkeepers. You can also go to our YouTube if you're not already watching this, Mythkeepers. All of the links will be in the description below. You can hit up our website, mythkeeperspod.com. And you can also find us on patreon.com/mythkeepers if you guys would like to support or contribute to the show. There's a couple tiers on there for supporting. And we get you guys some access to some unreleased goods. Scotty and I have... what we are doing is all the pre-episode banter. Hey, how you doing? What'd you do this week? What movie did you see? What video games are you playing? All of that is going to be extra stuff that you guys can kind of, just to give you more of a personal relationship with us, let you guys hang out with us on the Patreon, see what we're up to, get all of our good recommendations on, books, movies, TV, all that good shit. And then there's a couple of extra perks in there as well. So that is what we have going on at the start of the myth-keeping journey. Other than that, man, I think we're about ready to hop into this thing.
Let's get to it. I agree.
All right.
So before we even get into chapter 1, Zachary, in this front of this book, I don't know if you noticed, there was a handy dandy map.
Heyo.
I love a good map, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this map shows 7 total courts that I counted, I think.
Uh-huh.
There's the Mortal Lands. There's Under the Mountain. Then there's a giant island, like off to the side, named, is it Highburn? The script was kind of fancy. I couldn't tell what that third letter was.
I don't recall off the top of my head, but I
wrote giant mountain in here, but I know it's an island. I wrote my note incorrectly already.
Highburn, I think you're right.
Okay. Interesting stuff. The Mortal Lands, very small compared to the rest of the everything. Those damn mortals, they're, they don't get much space. But
yeah, looking at this map, I was like, first off, any good fantasy book has got to start off with a
Gotta
map.
start with a good map. Yeah.
If it doesn't start with a map, I don't want it.
I don't want it. Get out of here.
But then the more I was looking at the map, I was like, hey, this
looks
is
a
a
lot
little
like
familiar.
Westeros.
This
Yeah.
looks kind of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of Westeros going on here.
They just flipped it upside down. The wall is now in the south. Do find out later it's an invisible wall, so that's something. It's not an actual wall made of ice, but listen, everyone inspires and steals from everyone in fantasy, I feel like. Starting
Even the
with
whole
Tolkien.
like 7 courts, 7 kingdoms.
Yeah, listen.
It is what 7 is a common number in
True.
fantasy, so
Yeah.
we can give a little bit of grace. I'm not super hung up on it.
No.
I love the world building aspect to anything that I read or consume. So hey, I'm here for it. Yeah, definitely.
My next thought going in was, okay, we got a first person narrative, which is not my favorite, but we can live with it. I'm not going to be too hung up on that. A lot of lore and world building in these first couple chapters for sure.
Yes.
Which, again, I do like. So this is unless I just completely missed it, we do not get our main character's name here at all in this first chapter, right?
You may be right.
And I didn't even know if this was like a man, a woman, a they at this point. It's very little information about the main character, whose perspective we are in this first chapter, unless again I just completely missed it.
Interesting. You might be right.
Because I think I didn't realize that she was a girl until we get into chapter 2. I was like, oh, okay. That's how little I knew about this series, Zach. I didn't even know our main character was a girl. Apparently going into Fairylands is a death wish. And they've been living in this village for 8 years. This village is 2 days away from the border. There's never been a fairy attack on their village, she says, but travelers do sometimes bring words of border towns left in splinters, bones, and ashes. Mm-hmm. And I liked that little phrasing there. I was like, ooh, that sounds menacing.
Yeah,
as
I
hell.
noticed very quickly that there was a lot of descriptors in sets of 3.
Yeah.
Like another one was strange folk in the area, tall and eerie and deadly.
Mm-hmm. We love a good
I thought was
3 descriptors. That's good stuff.
No, yeah, we have to. She does allude to herself as a huntress, so we do know that she's a girl. Yeah,
I just missed that then.
And I have a note that she must not be like fantastic at being a huntress, because like they're on the brink of like going.
Listen, it is winter. Like game and things to hunt are harder to find in the winter. I'm not going to falter too much for that.
Okay.
By the way,
I will.
How you're listening to the audiobook, right? You'll falter.
Yes and no, actually. I realize that for this format, the pacing for me to just listen to the book and then type notes while I'm listening was a little smoother. I did start off reading the physical book, but putting it down to write notes and then going back was just kind of a nightmare. So yeah, I think I'm probably going to continue with the audiobook.
Gotcha. How are they pronouncing her name?
It's Feyre.
Feyre. Okay. I wanted to say just like Fair when I was reading it, but then I think it's in chapter 2. There's like almost a little pronunciation where like her sister is talking to her, where I was like, oh, I think it might be Feyre.
Yeah.
I will probably call her many things over these first several episodes as we get used to this. So just be aware for that. I probably won't always pronounce everyone's names correctly.
So we meet Elaine and Nesta, who or we hear
about them. Yeah.
Yes. And they are her sisters.
Yes. And she has a father, we know. And it seems like they kind of rely on her to provide for them.
Right. Yeah, we'll get into that a little more later. But another note that I took that I thought was interesting was that she makes mention of mortals no longer keep gods to worship.
Mhm.
So they've kind of abandoned all gods, which I think that's a cool starting place in like a world's history. That's that can make for just like a very like not dystopian, but like just a very defeated landscape, which I like that.
I do
like
think
that
that's a cool idea. Is just kind of like forgotten or absent gods is definitely a cool starting point for that. We get our first kind of hints that our girl is a bit of an artist here. She's talking a lot about colors and she's thinking about like things like that. And I think at some point she mentions something about painting.
Right.
And then she also she's talking about lovely things. And she says stolen hours in a decrepit barn with Isaac Hale didn't count. Those times were hungry and empty and sometimes cruel, but never lovely. So my girl is sneaking off to this barn with our guy Isaac here, but doesn't seem to be like super enjoying it. Like just kind of is what it is at times.
It is what it is. I mean, hey, dude, like everybody's got to get their fix, you know?
In a later chapter, she describes it, I think, as a release, but there's not really any love there, which, hey, you know what? Good for
power
her.
to you.
Then this wolf comes in, and this thing is like kind of terrifyingly.
So we're in the north, it's winter, and then there's a dire wolf.
There's a dire wolf, yes. Described as big as a pony. That's probably about the size of the dire wolves, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I love this line here. The forest went silent, the wind died, even the snow paused. So this is just a dire wolf, but also a White Walker from Game of Thrones. It's just like they're stopping, they're fucking with the weather as well.
Do you think we've lost every ACOTAR fan already?
Well, listen, surely they have to acknowledge this. Listen, I'm not saying I'm against this. Again, everybody steals, borrows. If anything, we'll probably get to this more later. If anyone has a gripe and a complaint about who she's drawing, this is a female author, right? Yeah, Sarah.
Yes.
Who she's drawing from, it should be whoever the fuck wrote Beauty and the Beast, because this story is just straight up like the intro to Beauty and the Beast. Again, not criticizing, just making observations.
So I have to call something out here.
Yeah.
So Feyre goes out hunting with 3 arrows.
Yeah, okay, for sure. Yes. What are you doing, girl? Come on.
What are we doing?
I guess that's all she can afford. Does she not know how to make arrows?
Can't you make an arrow?
Maybe she hasn't gotten to that like crafting level. Like she needs to up her technology skills until she reaches that crafting level.
Yeah, she's got low dexterity, so like carving and stuff is just not.
Well, I don't know. She at one point I think she says that she taught Isaac how to make snares, and if she can make, maybe she's so close. She's right on the cusp of getting that XP.
She's about to level up.
Yeah, she's gonna get that level up where she can craft the arrows.
Yeah.
Yes, terrible call by her. That's a good call out. She sees this wolf and she's like, it may be a fairy, but it may not be. But either way, fuck this thing. Like if it's
pretty much
like if it's a fairy, fuck the fairies. I'm here for killing it. If it's not a fairy and it's just this giant terrifying wolf, also fuck this thing. So she just seems to be like, I'm gonna kill this thing either
Fuck
way.
it, we ball.
Fuck it, we ball. And she does. She only needs 2 of her 3 arrows to kill this fucker.
Hell yeah. So a little bit of world lore here, I guess. Fairies apparently hate iron. And
ash keeps them from healing.
So regular wounds, they'd be able to, I have to assume they would just be able to heal.
Right.
Unless it's with ashwood.
She says like immortal healing magic, but the ashwood keeps them. And ash is rare because the High Fae burned all the ash trees long ago. But
gotcha.
Some are still around, apparently.
Yeah. And then lastly, so she shoots you already talked about this. She shoots the wolf, kills the wolf, And then we get a really cool line that says, "I wish it had it in me to feel remorse for the dead thing, but this was the forest and it was winter."
I had literally the exact same quote. That is a good
Dude,
line.
it's a good fucking
well,
line.
even I had the one right before it that you skipped to. His remaining golden eye now stared at the snow-heavy sky, and for a moment I wished I had it in me to feel remorse. Like, it's a good line already so far.
It is a good
like,
line.
The writing,
Also, you called out that she's a bit of an artist, and we're going to see this as we continue through, but whether this is just Sarah J. Maas's writing style, or if she's, I guess, like trying to project Feyre's, I guess, like thoughts through her writing, which I think obviously would be the goal.
Sure.
She's very descriptive, specifically with colors.
With colors,
and I
yes.
really like it.
Yep.
And so, again, either that's just simply how she writes, or she's writing like that specifically because Feyre is an artist, or she made Feyre an artist because she cares about art and she likes to, you know what I mean? Like,
Could be.
Whatever direction it took, I think is really, really cool because we see some really brilliant imagery, I think, when it comes to the colors in later chapters.
Yeah,
too.
whichever it is, I'm into it. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So now that's the end of chapter 1. For chapter 2, she gets home. I did think it was interesting here. Well, I had a thought here at the beginning where it was like she's talking about how her father had convinced some dude, a passing charlatan, to carve these anti-fairy runes into the door, and she's like, yeah, these are undoubtedly fake and useless. And I was like, I bet that it will turn out that they are useful. I was way off on that. We'll get to it later, but that fairy goes right through those runes, and she's like, I fucking knew those runes were fake.
Yep.
But I did think that I did have a note about that here. Yeah, then she gets home and her family's kind of shitty.
Yeah, we learned a little bit about her upbringing. We learned a little bit about her family, and I've got a couple notes here. So first off, Feyre's sisters both sound like they suck.
Yeah.
Elaine,
for different reasons.
Yes, Elaine seems just like she's dumb and naive and young and clueless. Yes. And Nesta sounds like a real fucking bitch.
Yes, for sure. Nesta, I came around to Nesta a little bit in the last, couple chapters that she's in, not of that we read. But I mean, she still sucks. Not like completely came around, but they just both seem like one's intentionally ignorant. Yes. Well, maybe not intentionally, but.
No, and then the other one's naive.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. Well, I don't know about intentionally ignorant. I think she's just
just selfish. I just feel like Nesta seems selfish.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Elaine just seems like a bit of a ditz, kind of clueless. Like, I think at some point Feyre says, like, it never would have even occurred to her to like help me do these things, something like that.
Right. Yeah.
Also, like, she's like, obviously Feyre is like covered in like blood and shit from skinning. Oh, I don't think we mentioned these. She skinned the wolf, by the way, after she killed it. And she brought the deer home, of course. And
which, by the way, can I just say, badass,
impressive.
Like,
yeah,
carrying a fucking deer a few miles alone in the winter. And she is described as like a small, like kind of frail girl,
thin,
or woman,
because obviously they're starving.
Right.
Yeah. No,
badass.
Impressive for sure. Then her dad is a whole nother thing. Like, he kind of like wants to lecture her about the risk that she's taking, and she's like, kind of had no other choice.
Yeah.
She there's a thought in here she has where it says, what I really wanted to say was, you don't even bother to attempt to leave the house most days. Were it not for me, we would starve. Were it not for me, we'd be dead. She doesn't say these things out loud, but she wants to,
Yes.
So yeah, her father, the backstory we kind of get on him is that after their mother died, he apparently had some debt and the creditors, thugs, like, came and just, like, fucked him up, like, just repeatedly, like, bashed in his knee, it sounds like, which that's gotta hurt. That doesn't sound fun.
Yeah.
And poor Feyre was, like, there, like, begging and pleading with them to stop, like, the entire time. Also, and she was what, like 8 at the time?
Yeah, she's super young. And I remember specifically she says that she soils herself and she vomits.
Threw up. Yeah. Messed up.
Yeah.
Not a
fucked.
fun time. It seems like her mother was kind of cold and distant. They used to be wealthy, is the thing.
Yes, I'm very interested in like how they lost their wealth.
Yes, same. I'm also interested in, I'm sure we'll get more about the relationship between her and her mother, because I have some questions about that, but we'll get to those later.
Same. Yeah.
So yeah, her family, she's like you said, she kills a wolf and this deer, drags it several miles through the snow for them, and they seem like not thankful or barely thankful at all.
Yeah, and Nesta's like, hey, you smell like shit.
Yeah.
Like, fucking get out of here. Go change. Go shower. You're gross.
Exactly. It's not great for Feyre. I did take a note of this here. She's talking about the paintings she did on their dresser.
Mm-hmm.
Violets and roses for Elaine's drawer, crackling flames for Nesta's drawer, and the night sky, whirls of yellow stars standing in for white around mine. And I'm just like, is this like representing their personalities, methinks, a little bit here? Like, you know, the flames, Nesta's kind of like, just burns those around her. You know, the flowers for Elaine, she's like pretty and sweet, but honestly kind of useless. And the night sky for her kind of just, I don't know, like maybe that there's an emptiness there. I don't know. I just wondered, I was like, I feel like this is standing for something, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's a good catch, because I kind of breezed right by that. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Also, she mentions this several times. She can't get white paint. She's got she's got such a problem getting white paint. For whatever reason, I would feel like white would be the most common paint, but she cannot get her hands on any white paint, and she mentions it several times. She's like, I fucked up this painting because I didn't have white. And I'm just like, this is such a weird thing for her to focus on.
I mean, hey, dude, they I don't know, the demand, I guess, is high, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
We don't know anything about the economy in this in this
true.
world.
Yeah.
So.
I want to know more about who's buying up all the white
Who's
paint?
Elmer? You know, when is he releasing the white paint drop?
Yeah.
Elmer's paint.
Elmer's paint? Are you thinking of Elmer's glue?
Well, yeah, don't they have paints also?
I don't know. Maybe they do. Sherwin-Williams.
Sherwin, there we go. Sherwin.
Yeah. Sherwin. You're on first name basis with him?
Yeah, my boy Sure, dude.
Oh, sure. That's my guy. Anyway, what else happens here?
Yeah, so we also learned that Feyre made a promise to Mother.
Okay, this is a big one.
This is interesting because I still can't quite understand the relationship that she has with Mom. But this promise means a lot to her. She promises to stay with the family and to look after them. And then we also get a little bit of like world, I guess, like standards or whatnot. But promises apparently are held in extremely high regard. It's basically law. Yeah,
I was a little confused, I guess, on that. Is that just her personal feeling, or is that like a cultural thing?
It did seem kind of like a cultural thing. Like the way that she talked about it seemed like it kind of applied to everything. Like just like
she did
an oath and like a promise, or just
she mentioned something about being labeled an oath breaker at some point.
Right.
In regards to something else. But yeah,
right.
I couldn't tell if that was just like kind of her personal code, or, you know, maybe a little bit of both, honestly.
Sure. Yeah.
I did like this line here where it says, every time I looked toward a horizon or wondered if I should just walk and never look back, I'd hear that promise I made 11 years ago as she wasted away on her deathbed.
Yeah.
Stay together and look after them. I'd agreed, too young to ask why she hadn't begged my elder sisters or my father. Maybe your mom was smart enough to realize that your older sisters and your father are fucking worthless.
Yeah.
So maybe her mother was, listen, a better judge of character than this is part of what I was talking about with earlier. Like, I'm very curious as to her relationship with her mother because it seems complicated.
It does seem very complicated. It also like mom has to be one of the variables into creating the family the way that it is, right? Like she seems cold and dismissive and distant. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. Like I don't want to completely dismiss like Nesta as being a bitch or like Dad for being an idiot or Elaine for being just like naive and kind of like unaware. Mm-hmm. Like I know that they all probably have their own things that they're dealing with or like that shape them into that. But at surface level, first impressions, not great.
First impressions are not great.
They kind of suck.
I feel like Nesta and her father get a brief moment towards the end of her time with them. Poor Elaine doesn't get one. Elaine just kind of actually seems legitimately worthless.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then the last bit we get here is that the woodcutter's son apparently would like to marry Nesta.
Thomas, and, maybe Tomas. I don't know.
Yeah.
One of those.
I think it's, well, I mean, at least in the audiobook, it's just Thomas.
Okay.
And Feyre is suspicious of this.
Yeah, Feyre's like, no, A, I don't trust that dude. B, we don't have money for a dowry. So that's not happening.
Yeah.
There is a little bit here. One of the small moments that her father gets is he tells her, we need hope as much as we need bread and meat. We need hope or else we cannot endure. So let her keep this hope, Feyre. Let her imagine a better life, a better world. And I was like, he kind of spitting there. Hope is
let him cook
is necessary. Let him cook a little bit. And then Feyre is a little bit cynical, a little bit not about it.
So you probably like Feyre a lot.
Listen, Feyre is. I'm intrigued. So far.
Yeah.
She looks at her father. Her gaze was hard. There is no such thing. I don't know if she's referring to a better life or a better world, probably, or just there's no such thing as hope, which would be even darker. But that is the end of chapter 2. Did you have anything else?
Luke would have something to say about that.
Yeah, true.
Chapter 3.
Yes. Hit me.
Feyre, Elaine, and Nesta head to town to sell the hides.
They gotta sell them hides, them pelts.
Yes.
I couldn't think of the word for it.
And we get a little bit more world building, which I am thankful for.
A lot of world building. Yeah.
This is actually a good chapter.
I do like this. Yeah.
Quite a bit. So we learned that the High Fae, which is, I think in a later chapter, it's kind of clarified a little bit, but
yes.
like the High Fae is a status
right
above just being a regular Fae or fairy.
I had assumed the first time it was brought up, I was like, oh, this is like the leader of the fairies. But no, it seems like it's
like an entire class. It's like the high elves versus just like the wood elves or the whatever. And the High Fae, for all intents and purposes, were the overlords of the mortals.
Right.
And it wasn't even necessarily the gods. Like they almost, in a way, it seems like worshipped the High Fae rather than worshiping gods. Because they just inflicted so much direct power and direct authority over them in old days. And throughout learning this, they start getting, as in Nesta and some townsfolk, start getting very snooty with some acolytes.
Yeah.
Where they're preaching about the High Fae or about the Fae in general.
We got a religious group here that we're introduced to.
Do we get a name for them?
I
don't recall.
Children of the Blessed.
Of the Forest.
Children of the Blessed. Yeah,
Okay.
they come accost to them. They're handing out pamphlets. You know, they're spreading their what they see as the good word, and yeah, they worship the high fae.
You think they ride little bikes with like and wear like a white shirt
They
with a
wear
black
white
tie?
short sleeve button ups and black. I didn't
Hell
want
yeah.
to. I wanted to make a Jehovah's Witness reference a minute ago. But I was like, is that going to offend people? Not that we're ever concerned about that, but listen, you know, it is what it is.
Spread that word, baby.
Spread that word. You do you.
You spread me, baby.
You, strap me on, daddy. Yeah, surely no Jehovah's Witnesses listening to us.
Yeah.
Like who the fuck am I kidding, actually? Anyway, yeah, apparently no one likes these people. Like these two farmers' wives walk by and they just like
shit all over
just
them.
shit all over them. Like just you fuckers get the hell out of here type thing. It says that like these people just kind of put everyone on edge and no one likes them around.
I love being put on the edge.
I know you do. How could I have ever thought you would have missed a chance to mention edging? That was my bad.
New podcast, same me, dude.
So true. This acolyte gal tells her that like, oh yeah, my best friend or whatever actually lives with them now and is like a bride to a high fae, and it's sick as hell or something like that.
It's like, nah, dude, I swear.
Yeah, nah, dude, I swear. And Nesta is just like, yeah, she got et. That fucker et her, okay? That's why she hasn't returned, dipshit. She's not living with them, is because she's in the belly of a fairy.
She gone.
She gone. They had her with a nice bottle of Chianti, some fava beans. And they're like, nah, bro, it's for sure that she's like with this high fae now.
Yeah. And they get called fairy loving whores.
Yes, they do.
And Nesta seems to like this insult quite a bit.
Nesta is way into that
She's
insult.
like, fucking spit, dude.
Like, tell them asses. Yeah, so that's kind of all I had about them. And then she talks to this badass mercenary chick who
yes, this is a good conversation.
Probably my favorite character in these first chapters. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there
Dude,
right now.
I fucking knew it would be, and I fucking feel the same,
She's
man.
not even named, by the way.
The mercenary.
The mercenary woman chick. And she... I feel like there's no way like this is a trap or a trick in some way, because I think this is done and over. But she's like, yeah, I'll buy your pelts and I'll buy them at like a premium price. Like way more than they're worth.
I still feel like she might be like some type of sentry or spy.
It's possible.
From the Fae.
You think there's an ulterior motive here?
Well, I get maybe, yeah. I mean, she could just be a badass mercenary, but also like because of what transpires at the end of this chapter and next chapter. I mean, he does say that like the magic or the
Yeah, no, the magic led him to.
Okay,
I know what you're
I
referring
guess
to.
maybe I was thinking that maybe she was trying to figure out like, all right, who killed our boy.
Yeah, no, I can see what you can see where your head's at there, but I don't think so. I want, let me put it this way. I want to believe that badass mercenary chick is like just doing this out of the goodness of her heart. Now, there's always the possibility that this is some kind of a ruse. You know I love a good ruse.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like she's just like, hey, someone did the same for me and mine a long time ago, and I just thought I'd pay it forward.
She's like, go get you some.
Go. Well, I don't think she has any clue about that. Sarah does indeed go get her some in a bit. But no, she's just like, hey, I see your sisters back there. You all look thin
Wait,
as
is
hell.
that what happens? Does Feyre just go bang?
Yeah, did you not catch that?
I don't think I realized that that's
Shut
what
up.
it was.
Come on, Zach. What are you, 10? Wait,
Yeah,
they were banging in that barn the whole time?
They were having sex?
They were having the sex.
The teens and
so
jeans?
stupid. The dude literally looks at her, gives her like a head nod, and walks to the barn. And then Feyre spends the next 5 minutes thinking about the contraceptive tea that my dude drinks before they bang. Are you shitting me, Zach?
I thought it was just explaining like, oh, that's a thing that we do. Like she was thinking about that.
Okay, hold on.
I totally missed
to
that.
Find in the book here. You are so stupid. I love you to death.
Hey, I'm listening at like 2 times speed, like fucking rolling. Dude.
I don't know why you're doing this. You're gonna miss so much. You're so stupid. Where does it? I gotta find this in the book now.
God damn it.
Just because how obvious it is. That's so funny that you didn't realize that's what happened. Here we go. She literally gives him the coin, the money she just made, just to get them out of her hair, too, by the way.
I read that as she was like, I don't want to have to deal with them fighting over this money. I'm just going to give it to them and go home.
No, Elaine sucked in a breath and didn't bother to look at either of my sisters.
Elaine sucked on his
as I pushed it into her palm and said, I'll see you at home. And then it's like transition later, and we know what transpired during that later. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yes, her and Isaac went and banged during that time.
They were having sex?
They were having the sex.
Oh, no.
Was there anything else?
Wait, he's married.
No, he's announced that he's... First of all, not that matters, Zach. Affairs happen. Come on.
Well, I mean, it does matter.
No, I don't think he's married yet. I think he told her he was going to be married.
Oh, okay.
And she says she's...
Boy, I should slow down my audio.
I think she has in her dialogue is like, listen, I don't love him, but that still like hurt me a little bit type of thing. Anyway.
Yeah. I was paying attention.
Yes, you were. The badass mercenary also tells her about like she fought and killed a what was it called? Like a Marduk or something. It's definitely Marduk. She killed Marmaduke.
I don't recall the name of the beast, but is really cool.
Here we go. Martax. I found it.
Martax.
She says, I guarded for an old nobleman who claimed it's been getting worse these past 50 years. He told me I should leave if I was smart. Before he sailed off, he admitted that he'd had word from one of his friends. In the dead of night, a pack of Martax crossed the wall and tore half his village apart. She said, this is Feyre saying, I knew there were different types of fairies, but I knew only a few by name. Body as big as a bear's, head something like a lion's, and 3 rows of teeth sharper than a shark's. So they're bears, lions, and sharks in one. That's a fucked up creature.
Man, whoever came up with this idea was like, how do we just roll up
what
like all of the worst fucking things?
The worst creatures that people are like most terrified of in nature.
It's just
shark,
missing 8 legs.
8 legs? Oh, like a spider. Yeah. Yeah, and here's where I have my note. So her and Isaac bang on the reg. She views it as just a release, not any love involved. Which,
right.
Hey, good for her. You get yours, queen.
One line that stood out to me was when the mercenary tells Feyre, don't go far into the woods.
No, yeah, true.
I wouldn't go close to where you were yesterday. And that didn't fucking go anywhere. Like,
no, true.
She went far into the woods.
The end of this chapter 3 into start of chapter 4 is when it really pops off. A giant golden beast just bursts in and starts screaming murderers at them, which is terrifying, honestly.
Wolfish head, massive claws. Murderers.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a wolf, but it's got horns also, golden fur. Obviously this is a fairy because it's speaking. Here's an interesting lore tidbit here. Apparently fairies can't lie.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know how I feel about that yet.
I think
I love a good scheme.
Well, but I think what's cool is it's gonna make like any of the schemes that happen with them, like they have to hide behind like half truths.
She does say at some point they can omit truths.
Yeah, and omit truths.
Right.
And I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, fair. It's a particular quirk. We'll see how she writes around it. So yeah, that wolf she killed was indeed a fairy.
Right.
And
this treaty requires a life for a life.
Right.
Although how you pay your life for a dead life, I don't know that I fully understand. I have some questions.
Honestly, it seems like her life got a huge upgrade, but listen, who am I?
It seems like it was like, hey, thanks for killing that guy. You want to live in riches for the rest of your life, and I'll protect your family.
Hey, what we're not actually saying is everyone fucking hated that guy. You did us all a huge favor.
Yeah,
but we're gonna
Andres,
claim,
dude,
that we're taking your life. No, so at first this beast thinks she's covering for her family.
Yeah.
But I love that Feyre is just like, nah, bro, that was me. Feyre. Yeah. Feyre is just like, nah, bro, that was me. I killed the shit out of that thing. Also, I didn't know it was a fairy, but even if I had known, I still would have killed the shit out of him. Yes.
I'd have killed him again.
Yeah, I would have killed him twice. I'm like, okay, let's go, Feyre. Yeah, so yeah, she must be either killed, sliced to ribbons, or live in Prythian.
Live in luxury for the rest of her life.
Well, she doesn't know that part yet, but Prythian, is that how it's said?
Prythian, yeah.
For the rest of her days, which at first she's thinking like, she's thinking Sean Bean from Lord of the Rings, like, you cannot simply walk into Prythian over here. She's like, that's what she's imagining. She's like, I can't live there. I will die. Like, so I either get torn to shreds here or I die possibly a more horrific death going to Prythian. So she doesn't know what it's like. And the fairy's just like, nah, bro, I got lands.
Nah, bro, you can stay with me.
He doesn't say I have a house or I have land. I have lands is what he says.
No house.
He has all of the lands.
2 lands.
Yeah, he has multiple lands. And she's like, why would you
I have yards.
Why would you let me do that though? And he's like, listen, you murdered my friend, murdered him, skinned his corpse, sold it at the market, then said he deserved it, and yet you have the nerve to question my generosity, which I'm like, hell yeah. Wait, you go, Feyre.
Like, when you say it like that, it makes sense, but also you say it like that, it's like, why are you not killing me?
Also, yes. Also, like, when you say it like that, doesn't put Feyre in the best light. Doesn't paint her in a very flattering light at all.
And it also makes it seem like this guy's out of his fucking mind for offering to, like, me live with him.
It's true. And Feyre is very suspicious.
Yes.
She's like, hey, you didn't need to mention the loophole. You could have just killed me. And her dad in the background, like a game show contestant, is like, take the deal. Go with him. Take the deal.
Pick number 3, my lord.
Number 3, my lord. Yeah, he's like, hey, our life sucks and you should go with him and never come back.
What I think is really fucking funny is he tells her, go somewhere new and make a name for yourself. It's like, dude, for all we all know, I'm going to be imprisoned for the rest of my life.
Well, that's like, does he know something that Feyre doesn't?
Oh, does he?
I don't know. Or is he just an idiot?
I think he's an idiot.
He might just be an idiot. I can't tell. But he has a really good line here at some point, I think. No, he didn't. No. Well, he already had a good one about hope. Yeah, Yeah, he tells her,
Does it dangle from a string?
You are always too good for here, too good for us, too good for everyone. If you ever escape, ever convince them that you've paid the debt, don't return. Don't ever come back. You go somewhere near you, make a new name for yourself. Yeah. So does he know more than he's told her? Is he just an idiot? Or is he kind of realizing and admitting that him and his other two daughters have been real shitheels to her, and he doesn't want to tie Feyre down with that anymore? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't decide.
Could be right.
But yeah, when Feyre is questioning this loophole, I do like what the fairy says here. He says, "Foolish of me to forget that humans have such low opinions of us. Do you humans no longer understand mercy? Let me make this clear for you, girl. You can either come live at my home in Prithian, offer your life for the wolves in that way, or you can walk outside right now and be shredded to ribbons. Your choice." So not much of a choice.
I mean, yeah.
Now, what is it? Is it the Hound or Sirio? We always have a choice. I think that's a Sirio line, isn't it?
That's a Sirio line.
Yeah. Hell yeah. There's always a choice.
And then Feyre's parting words to Nesta. I love this.
Yeah.
Don't marry Thomas Mandray.
This is good.
His father beats his wife, and none of them do anything to stop it. Bruises are harder to conceal than poverty is.
Dang.
Ouch.
That's a banger of a line from our girl Feyre.
Yeah.
What I was thinking of is here when I was like, Nesta kind of has her moment, is that for all her faults, for all her being a bee, like Feyre mentions and recognizes that she will fight and die for Elaine specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Like she doesn't give a shit about her dad or Feyre.
She resents her father.
For sure. But I think even Feyre realizes they're kind of two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
But yes, Nesta will do everything she can to protect Elaine, which, listen, a redeeming quality there.
Yeah, I mean, it is a small silver lining.
Right. Listen, I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that, hey, Nesta, number
Nesta
one
sucks,
favorite
dude.
character. Nesta absolutely sucks, but kind of a moment for her here. And that's kind of the end. Did you have anything else from chapter 4?
No, that's it.
Is chapter 5 the really short one? Yeah.
Yeah, it is. He takes her to a horse.
Yeah.
She rides the horse and follows him. She does begin to start noticing that like her saddle and the horse are like both very, very nice. And she's like, this seems
more
like
civilized,
really rich.
From more civilized age.
Right.
She mentions here that the treaty forbids fairies taking humans as slaves. But then she's also like, maybe it allows it if a human kills one. She seems to know a lot about this treaty, but also very little about this treaty at the same time.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It's a little sketchy on that. Maybe she just remembers certain parts. I found this very interesting lore tidbit here. Knowledge of their weakness to ash was the only reason we'd ever survived against the High Fae during the ancient uprising. A secret betrayed by one of their own. So already High Fae infighting we've got going on here.
Yeah, like
at some point in time. Yeah.
And she tries to make some small talk.
Yeah.
And then he uses the shut the fuck up, go to sleep spell on her. And
he uses the bondage spell on her, which, an old favorite from the Harry Potter days. No way that doesn't come in handy later. If if anything you've told me about these books is true, and I like to think that it is, Zach.
I have been told from Sam, I think it was Sam from Half Drunk, Heroine's Pod.
Yeah, get it right. Respect the rebrand, Zach.
I know,
We're fucking currently.
I know. Sorry, guys. Which, by the way, super quick plug. They are also enjoying the ACOTAR series. If any of you listeners are not already checking out Heroine's Pod, go do that. They are much further along in the series than I, and they're also two women just being fucking badasses on their show, and
here we are
celebrating badass women on their show, which also is super cool. So yeah, they're maybe a little bit cooler than us, but you guys should definitely still stick around here too. Okay.
Yeah, definitely do that also.
Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure Sam told me that like it doesn't get super spicy until the second book. Like there is some stuff in the first book, but like apparently it's like it gets in it.
Yeah, these first chapters are very tame, honestly.
Oh yeah, super tame.
Hopefully that comes later. I don't really care either way. I'm just here for a good time.
Hey yo.
So
not a long time, just a good time.
Just a good time. So chapter 6 is where I think I first took note. I was like, so this is just straight up Beauty and the Beast.
Yep.
So far.
Dude, hold on. I think that's in my notes on this chapter too.
Really?
Yeah.
She decides to stay. She gets to this crazy estate after he puts her asleep for the entire traveling period, which thank God. I usually hate like traveling chapters in books, honestly.
Yeah.
She decides to stay for now because she's too hungry to run. But also immediately after she decides this, she's like, wait, I can't eat any food from a fairy or then I'll be completely like under their spell, like fully enslaved, like body, mind, soul to him. I was like, well, make up your mind, girl. You should have run then if that was the case.
Yeah.
And shock of the century. No one saw this coming. They get into the dining room and the golden beast turns into a hot ass dude. Never
would have guessed.
Never would have guessed that he's a hot ass.
Yeah. And also that he is not a regular fae. He is a high fae.
He is in fact a high fae.
Nobility.
Also, she somehow immediately knows he's a warrior.
She talks about how like his clothing is warrior's clothing.
I guess. Still a little sus about that.
Yeah, as soon as she realizes that he's a high fae, I'm like, now she's locked in. Now she's locked in. Let's go.
Except she's not. That's like the first thing he tells her is like, you're free to go, by the way. You can live anywhere in Prithian. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, but I think he does.
He does. He absolutely does.
I think he's hurting for squirting.
He is. Okay. Well, I guess we'll just get into this now.
I think Lucian's
Lucien, I think, is egging him on to be hurting for squirting.
Yeah. Like, he keeps giving him the look.
Yeah. I think he would be fine either way. What is the guy's name? I can't even think of it right now.
Tamlin.
Tamlin is like, dude, he's so alpha. Like, he's just like, or no, what is it? I guess that's not,
that's Lucien.
No. He doesn't care either way. Is the
okay,
thing.
Sure.
Like, Lucien is, I feel like, definitely like egging him on into this.
Yeah, Lucien is like, wait, I can't remember if it's this chapter or next chapter, but he literally is like, oh, you want to leave? What, we're not hot enough? Well, we don't look good enough? You'd rather look at fucking humans than us? It's like, dude, fucking chill, bro.
I think that was around the time I took the note. I've already decided I love Lucien. Dude,
I hate him so much.
I fucking Lucien rules. He's got your boy. What's the professor with the eye? He's got a magic eye.
Mad Eye Moody?
Yeah, he's got the moody eye thing going on.
Alistair?
Yeah.
Alastor. Man, my fucking ear things keep coming out.
Yeah, weren't you telling me how proud of those you were?
I mean, they sound really great, but they just keep coming out.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I got small ear holes. Got to get stretched out, baby.
Fucking hell. Oh, yeah. So we jumped ahead a bit. Lucien comes in here.
Mhm.
And we learn the name of the fairy she killed was named Andres.
Andres, yeah.
Andres.
Andres. That's how I would say it.
And yes, the summons found the girl responsible. So some kind of magic allowed him to find her.
Right.
Lucien is like, she? The fuck? You're kidding me. No shot she killed Andres. But very interesting. We never should have sent him out there. None of them should have been out there. It was a fool's mission.
Yes.
And we get
Interest
a little
peaked.
Yes. We get a little more on this in a bit. I guess we can just talk about it now. Tamlin claims there is a blight.
Yes.
And that's why Andres was out there looking for a cure.
A cure.
So
he says.
That's what he says. He can't lie, though.
You're right.
So I suppose there has to be at least some bit of truth in that. Also, they keep referencing the cauldron. Did you catch on to this?
No, I did not.
That's the hand the cauldron thought to deal us. So the cauldron sounds like either some kind of higher authority, the name of some god.
Or like a saying.
Yeah, something. Well, the cauldron is capitalized.
Oh, I didn't even. Oh, okay. Well, I'm listening, so I didn't catch that.
Okay. So I think that, and I think Tamlin says it at some point also. It seems like it's some type of higher authority to me. Like a saying of like,
interesting.
Oh, this is the hand that God dealt us, or like that type of thing is the vibe I'm getting.
Or the fates.
Fate, right, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So I don't know what that's about, but I did notice that. Lucien is just like, she's going to just be a burden here. We should just get rid of her.
Yeah.
Because she wants to kill you also, by the way. And Feyre's like, yeah, definitely.
I love that when Lucien is telling Tamlin this, Tamlin basically, in layman's terms, is like, you guys aren't going to harm her. She's so poor that her life has sucked enough as it is.
Exactly.
So fucking leave her alone. So fucking funny.
100%. I have the quote here. And as for the girl, she stays unharmed. End of discussion. Her life in that hovel was hell enough. Damn, dude. Damn.
Fucking be nice, dude.
There's a later part also where he's talking about her home, and there's like he pauses. And he's like, says home. Yeah.
Home.
And she has her inner monologue is like, he was about to say fucking hovel again. This bitch. So yeah, she won't eat. But much like Nesta, they're like, you kind of stanky, girl. Go get changed and get a bath. Which she does. Is this where she meets the Alice servant? Yeah.
Yeah, I like Alice.
I like Alice a lot too so far. Oh, real quick. I have to call this out. I think this is my favorite line in this entire section, Zach. And this is going to be for people who are with us through the Harry Potter series. You will already know that I like to hyper focus on the most like mundane random shit. This is that for this.
Okay. All right.
So this is Feyre talking about where she stands. She says, the bedroom was larger than our entire cottage. Its walls were pale green, delicately sketched with patterns of gold, and the moldings were golden as well. I might have thought it tacky had the ivory furniture and rugs not complemented it so well. My fucking girl, interior designer extraordinaire over here, is like, listen, ordinarily I wouldn't let this tacky shit slide, but
that looks real good.
It works. The ivory furniture, the rug.
When
She's got
works,
a little bit of Big Lebowski in here too. The rug ties the whole room together.
Dude.
This is great. I fucking love this line so much.
Hell yeah, man.
So yes, artist, interior designer, hunter, huntress. Feyre does it all, man. She's got it going.
She knows what she's talking about, man.
She does know what
Ivory
she's
does
talking
look
about.
great with emerald and gold.
Definitely. Oh yeah, 100%.
I mean, it fucking does.
And that rug really tied the room together. Shit. What else happens here?
My last notes for this chapter were just she begins to think about how peaceful and calm this place can be, and that I kind of like the servant chick. She says that Andrus knew the risks for being on that side of the wall, and kind of is just like, he died, so what? Yeah. It happens. Like,
right. Yes. Alice also tells her, if you're wise, you'll keep your mouth shut and your ears open. It'll do you more good here than a loose tongue, and keep your wits about you. Even your senses will try to betray you here. So weird shit's going to happen, more or less, Alice says.
Yeah.
And I think we get a little bit of that in this next chapter, chapter 7.
She's like, you've entered Disney's haunted mansion.
Haunted gardens, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, this is, okay, sorry, she just goes back down to eat again at the start of chapter 7. Because she still hasn't eaten, and she's like about to pass out. She's so hungry.
Right. And so chapter 7 starts with her getting there, and so we learn that the blonde's name is Tantlin.
Right. Yes.
And my first note of the chapter is that
Lucien's line.
Well, no, it was that Tamlin tries spitting some game.
He does.
You look ... better than before.
He does. Yes. And Lucien, yeah, okay, so yes,
Lucien's like, hell yeah,
and
dude,
Lucien,
fucking spit that game.
Yeah, well, he's less encouraging about it. He straight up tells him, your skills with females have definitely become rusty in recent decades.
Dude.
And I'm like, you tell him like it is, Lucien. I love it.
Men that call women females, red flag. Lucien,
actually very
red
true.
Flag.
Yeah, Lucien is this fact that Scott likes him, red flag.
Red flag.
Yes. The other, what is the other line he tries to use? Your hair looks clean.
Clean.
So good.
So good.
My dude spits mad game.
Hell yeah, bro.
Tamlin has got the riz, bro. Tamlin does. I love this line. Because Lucien is talking about how you should have worn a dress, though. Because there was this whole bit with Alice about how she refused to wear a dress, and Alice brought her like a tunic instead.
Right.
And Lucien is like, yeah, you should have wore a dress. You'd look nicer in a dress. Why'd you do that? And Tamlin just is straight up like, because killing us is easier in pants. And I'm like, that's my guy right there. That's a hell of a line.
He fucking gets it.
He tells it like it is. I gotta respect that.
He can't lie, man. He's a fan.
Can't lie. It's true. It's true. We do know that.
It is true.
What happens next?
So we learn. So she begins to plead. She pleads to leave because her family will die without her.
She wants to know if she can atone.
Yes. And Tamlin says, don't sweat it, dude. Your family hit the lottery. Like, you killed my boy. You guys hit the jackpot. I'm taking care of your family. And he's like, do you really think I would let your family die because I took their only source of money and food? Yeah. Do not worry. They're taken care of. They're well taken care of. Which I think is just like very strange.
There's so much weird shit going on.
I'm not going to write this off yet, but there better be more to that. Like more like, why would he do that? Like, if it's just like out of the goodness of my heart, like, why are you taking her in? Like, it's just strange. Like, I want there to be a scheme. I want there to be a reason. Like,
100%.
Does that make sense?
It's too easy right now.
Yes.
Do you think there's the way he worded it? Is there a possibility that taking care of her family meant taking care of her family?
No, I don't think so. You're
probably right, but I almost hope that's the case. Because otherwise, this is just too simple and straightforward.
No, because here's the thing: is like unless they died up front and we got to witness their death as like a character defining moment for Feyre,
Right.
I don't think we would have gotten that introduction for us to not experience their death right away.
Well, I'm saying that could be a big twist later. Later she finds out that
they've been dead all along.
Yes, they've been killed way back then.
I mean that would be a hell of a twist, but no, I don't get that from him.
I don't get that feeling either. It's just a thought I had that I'm trying to like rationalize.
Yeah. I just want there to be like at some point, I mean, obviously we're 8 chapters into this book,
right, yes.
but at some point later or in a future book, I want there to be the whole, this is the real reason I took you in.
I have a feeling like surely that will have to happen in this book.
And I hope it's not just because I'm hurting for a squirtin'.
Actually, I might respect that more.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
I might be even more here for that reasoning.
That's funny.
So he swears, yeah.
Okay.
She's like, even though I know fairies can't lie, she asks him, you swear it? And he says, he laughs and he says, on everything that I am and possess. So he's at least
laying it on a little thick.
Laying it on thick, yes. Then he bondages her to the chair.
Yes.
And tells her, hey, the food is fine. You're not leaving till you eat. And she finally does.
And then he goes, open up. Choo-choo.
He literally cuts her off like a bartender, too. He's like, you've had enough.
Yeah, all right, that's enough.
Magics the food out of existence because, like, if you take one more bite,
it's going to go straight to your thighs, dude.
No more chocolate tart for you. No, he magics it away and tells her, if you had eaten one more bite, you would throw it up.
Right.
How he know that? Is that a magic thing, or is he just like?
I think he's just
making a
that.
cheeky response.
I don't know. I don't think so. He can't lie though. He can't lie. So it must be true.
He must have some
it had to have been true.
Magic gastrointestinal like viewing spell.
No lie was said. I see no lie.
I see no lie here.
He does tell her, you're free to go, but if you cross the southern wall, your family will not be cared for. Right. Which that is why I think that he's not lying about the family being cared for. Because it's like, yeah.
You're probably right, but I want there to be more there. What I definitely know there is more to is the way they ask her about her love life.
Yes.
Like,
well, again, I don't know, dude. This is some weird kinky adult fantasy like shit. Like it could just be like, oh, we're guys and we're interested in you.
Know what? Maybe I am reading too much into this, and this is just that. You could be right.
It could be more surface level.
I get the feeling. Again, this is probably just because I'm just reading Beauty and the Beast at this point, that he is under some kind of need or obligation to find a human bride.
To get the rose that's in the glass thing.
Like
yeah,
whatever correlation, like surely it's not just he's hurting for a squirtin'. Because
maybe she is the cure.
Right. Because maybe intermingling the species is the cure. I don't know. There's something about the way Lucien keeps like egging him on. Like,
I think Lucien's just being a fucking bro, dude.
Well, he is. Well, yes, but also no. I think there's definitely more to here. At least I hope there is.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly hope so too. But I'm not expecting a whole lot. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised.
Listen, surely this, as popular as the story is, surely there's more to it than just. Nah, he
like,
just wants to bang.
You're pretty hot. I'm gonna fucking kidnap you. Fucking bang.
I will take care of your entire family for life. I will let you live in my sick ass mansion. Just please have sex with me.
And he hits her with a please.
Please let me stay in your house.
Call my mommy.
Call my. No, I want to give the credit. I feel like there's more here. my other thought I had.
Scott, stop going through all the thought. We still have one more chapter to talk about. Let's do this at
fine.
the end.
All right, we'll do that at the end.
Okay. So she goes to bed. She wakes up in the morning super early. Alice comes in the room and gets smacked in the face by her rope.
So funny.
Yes, it's very good.
I love how, like, Feyre has been... Feyre, shit. I was doing so good at the start.
No, you weren't.
No, I was, I swear. I swear, though, I was. Feyre has been very, like, fuck these people. Like, I'm on my guard always. Like,
right.
You can't get to me, like, this entire time. Then she smacks Alice in the face with this trap, and suddenly she's like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. Like, I was gonna take it down. Fuck, that's so my bad. I'm so sorry. And I did find that very funny and interesting. I don't know if she's starting to believe them or if she's...
I mean, she just ate a bunch of food.
Yeah, she's got some kinship with Alice maybe already.
Yeah, I think so. Alice has already given her some wise advice.
Yeah.
She's got to be.
I just loved that turn. Like, Feyre is just like so apologetic immediately. Like,
yeah,
that is so my bad. I swear I was going to get up early, take that shit down. It was just a big joke. It was a big joke, Alice, I swear. Yeah.
So Alex explains that their master's protection only goes so far.
Yes.
So although she is free to leave, she's probably going to get fucked up and hunted if she's outside of his protection.
She asks, Feyre asks Alice, what sort of fairies should I look out for? And Alice says, all of them. My master's protection only goes so far. They'll want to hunt and kill you just for being a human, regardless of what you did to Andres. So this is where my thoughts went to, okay, I think Tamlin is some kind of, like, human pacifist. Like, he wants to, whereas most fairies, like, are as horrible as people think they are. Yes. Where he wants to, like, be friends with and, like, not kill humans, and maybe he leads some kind of a faction that believes in coexisting peacefully with the humans.
Sure.
That's my theory.
I would like that, yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought of when Alice specifically calls out to her that all the other fairies basically will want to hunt and kill you just for being a human. Because there was a while where I was like, okay, listen, she killed a fairy and they're going to want to punish her for that. Understandable. But no, Alice says, no, just for you being a human.
You're fucked.
You're fucked. So that's what made me think that.
That's a good call out and a good theory. And that is exactly the sort of, like, reason that would intrigue me, so that it's just not surface level. You know what I mean? Like, just
you just liked it because it made you made a connection to Dumbledore, you bitch.
Well, I mean, maybe a little column A, a little column B. Okay, so she leaves the room. She's gonna go out to check out the gardens.
Uh-huh.
And as she's walking down there, we get another great description of artwork.
Yeah.
She falls in love with the artwork that's in the home. I think this is where I wrote. So she's very passionate about artistry, whether it's Feyre or the author. It's written really, really well. Even with the descriptions, colors like periwinkle and pumpkin, there's just not common, like, descriptive colors to use when talking about color.
Yeah.
It stood out. I thought it was really good. I thought it sounded great. So yeah, just kudos to Sarah J. Maas on that.
100%. I think these are Tamlin's paintings.
Oh yeah, dude.
So not only is Tamlin a warrior, but he's also, like, misunderstood.
Got a soft side.
He's got a soft side. He's a misunderstood artist.
He's
Zach.
A beast, you mean?
He's a beast,
Beauty
but he's
and
also
the Beast.
A misunderstood artist.
What's the beast's real name? Do you remember?
I don't know. Does he have a real name?
I'm sure he does.
I have not seen Beauty and the Beast in probably, like, 2 decades. I can't. I even as little as I remembered from it, I still was like, this shit, Beauty and the Beast. I'm a misunderstood artist too, Zach.
The prince's name is Adam.
Yeah, cool. I'm a misunderstood. I'm very misunderstood for
Tight.
my art of making terrible jokes.
Of dipshittery. Yeah.
Dipshittery, exactly.
Okay, so they so she goes out.
Yeah, she sees Tam again. Good old Tam.
Tammy
Yeah.
boy.
Tammy boy.
Tammy's a good nickname for him.
Yeah. Of course
Although
it is.
actually,
I
you know what?
only
I don't
give
know if
good
this
nicknames.
is I don't know if this is a fandom name, but when I was asking Dom earlier, shouts out to Dom, by the way, for putting us on this shit, or one of the many people who's put us on this shit.
I feel like it was more than just her. But.
I was asking her for some pictures for a segment for later. Spoiler free, of course.
That we're not using.
Yeah, that we're not going to end up using. And she sends me a picture of Tamlin, but she put AKA tampon.
Oh, that's good. I mean, it's not good.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Does that imply that he's a bit of like a kind of a that doesn't seem like a positive nickname to me. That makes me think people don't like tampon.
I don't know. We shall find out.
That doesn't seem very spoiler free to me, Zach.
Well,
yeah. Anyway, she's immediately kind of a dick to poor old tampon.
I don't think we use that name. We need to judge for ourselves if that works. Tammy.
He tells her that the treaty doesn't ban us. He enunciates us, or it's like italicized in the book, from doing anything except for enslaving you. The wall is an inconvenience. If we cared to, we could shatter it and march through to kill you all. That says to me that the treaty is more for the mortals, which is interesting. Because he says it doesn't ban us from doing shit.
I wonder if like there's a way for like the mortals to like ascend to like.
It makes me think that I don't know. Maybe the humans aren't as powerless against the fairies as they think they are.
Yeah, like they definitely wield more potential, and they're being suppressed. They're being oppressed.
Right. Exactly.
It's interesting. But hey, it starts now though. Feyre begins to notice how attractive Tammy boy is, or likely is, beneath his mask.
She's like, oh, he's ripped as hell.
Yeah.
This dude is shredded.
Look at that fucking jawline.
Look at that jawline. Look at those fucking pecs. Like, my friend saw him in the shower and he had an 8-pack.
Isaac got nothing on this guy.
This dude is shredded. She talks about his tan at some point, I'm pretty sure. He's got the beautiful golden hair. This dude is fucking just so hot.
Yeah.
Is this where we find out that their masks are like permanently affixed?
Yeah.
We hadn't talked about the masks yet.
We hadn't. Is that some like weird furry thing?
Yeah, I think it's a furry thing for sure.
Yeah.
That's Because Lucien's is a fox mask.
Is that going to be the title of our episode? I think it's a furry thing.
Furry. There we go. Nailed it. What is his? I can't remember how she described his. Do you remember?
I thought it was like a wolf.
His mask?
Like a golden wolf.
Oh, maybe. I can't remember. I remember
I could be wrong. I totally could be wrong.
I remember Lucien's was a fox, I think. Maybe that's wrong.
No, that's correct.
No, it's correct.
And he has a big scar.
Yeah, he has a scar where he's got his moody eye. Also, he's got red hair. We didn't mention that either. None of this matters.
Yeah.
Okay, so after he tells her about like, yeah, we could tear down that wall and fuck all your shit up if we wanted to. She's like, and do you care to do that? And he tells her, I have no interest in the mortal lands, though I can't speak for my kind. So this again makes me think he's
distancing himself from his people.
I think he's like, yes, I think he's like a bit of a rogue amongst his people. Like I said, with like hey, I want to live peacefully with humans.
Yeah.
Not oppress them or kill them.
I still get the sense that he's like well respected, but like
right,
but not like but he's on the outs.
Yes, I feel like
but
that's
still powerful.
A common trope in fantasy.
Yeah, for sure.
Like on the outs, but still kind of very respected. Like kind of like a Ned in Game of Thrones, well respected, but just kind of up in the north. Your Dumbledores. What was the name of
pretty much everybody loved Dumbledore except for the Ministry, but
yeah, that's true. What was the name of like our main gal from the Wheel of Time?
Moraine,
yeah, she was kind of that way too, where she was like super powerful, but like kind of had different ideas from the main council or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the vibe I get from old Tammy here.
Qui-Gon.
Yeah, Qui-Gon for sure. That's another good one. Oh yeah, such unearthly primal grace even to his breathing. Dude, she's got the hots for him so bad already.
Dude,
it's like
soaking.
No, soaking is something different, Zach. We have talked about soaking.
We have talked about soaking, yes.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
What was the jump bumpy?
Oh, it's like a shaker.
Yeah.
A jump
but
buddy.
But there was a
like
really
that.
funny name for it that I
think it's a
remember
jump
now.
buddy.
Jump, bumping, something like that. Go look
Bumper?
up soaking. For those who don't know what soaking is.
Yeah, look that shit up.
Look that shit up. So this is where he tells her about the blight, yeah? What is this blight deal, Zach?
Yeah, so let me switch back to chapter 7. So he explains that there has been some type of like curse to Prithian.
Right.
And that they are cursed to live with these masks permanently. This curse or blight attacks and saps or drains their magic.
Yeah. 50 years this has been going on.
Yeah, for 50 years. And Andres had been south of the wall looking for a cure. Now, also, I feel like you might have to help me out here and jog my memory, but wasn't there, like, didn't the mercenary talk about, like, how in the past 50 years there's been more, like, sightings of fairy?
Did she say 50? Oh, right. You're right.
I think she did.
Yes. Let me go up on my notes here a little bit.
So they're coming south.
Not her specifically, but the old man told her that.
Okay.
Let's see. Yes. I guarded for an old nobleman who claimed it had been getting worse these past 50 years. That's a good catch, Zach.
Yeah. So something about this blight is driving them south looking for something.
And then he says here to Tammy, he says, where is that? It happened. There was a surge, something about a surge. My own powers are diminished due to it. These masks are the result of a surge of it that occurred during a masquerade 49 years ago. Even now, we can't remove them, stuck in masks for nearly 50 years.
That's such an interesting, like, embellishment on this.
Yeah.
curse.
So some kind of surge of magic at a masquerade ball, I'm assuming. Which is why they were wearing masks. That makes sense. So they were already wearing them. So I don't think there's necessarily anything magical or significant about the masks. They were just at a masquerade ball, and some kind of magic surge was just like, yeah, that's part of your face now. Sucks to suck, bro.
Yeah, it's like when you tell your kid, like, if you keep making that face, it's going to get stuck like that.
It's going to get stuck 100%. 100%.
You better be careful what mask you put on, man. It could very well be the last one you ever put on.
And then he says, the blight is cruel like that. Either live as a beast or live with the mask. Because, yeah, he doesn't have the mask when he's in, like, his beast form.
In his beast form.
Yeah. Huh.
Hmm.
And that's all I have for chapter 7. Did you have anything else?
that was pretty much everything.
A lot of interesting stuff old Tammy is saying there, though.
Get some good lore dump.
And then there's some invisible giggling watching her in the garden. What's up with this?
So first off, the chapter starts with her contemplating her escape again.
Of course. That's all she thinks about.
And she contemplates who or how she could get someone to plead her case or speak on her behalf to Tammy. And then she considers Lucien.
Yeah. Which is very funny to me.
Very funny.
Because, like, Tamlin has been very civil and nice to her, and Lucien's been kind of a
dipshit.
So I don't know why she thinks that she could get Lucien to speak to Tammy on her behalf.
Probably because, like, Tammy seems, although yes, he's been nice, he seems like steadfast. Like, he's very like by his code. But
he's also like constantly telling Lucien off too.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know why she thinks Lucien has so much sway with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Anyway, it's a plan. She's got one.
Anyway, so she hears some weird giggling and she feels like she's being watched. And then there's these like two small shining figures.
Shimmering, something,
that kind of in a way seemed like they were trying to like play with her.
Yeah.
And then Alice calls out to her. And when she turns back to check on these small things, they are gone.
Yeah. Possibly creepy and malevolent, possibly just some scamps trying to play with her.
Well, I mean, I think that's Alice's warning.
Right.
The grounds are going to play some weird tricks on you, and
don't trust anyone.
Keep your wits about you.
Keep your wits. Is that our Alice voice? Keep your wits about you, girl.
Yes.
We should do voices again. I miss doing voices.
Feyre steals a knife from dinner.
Yeah, of course she does. What should be Lucien's? Oh, Lucien's a bro. Lucien's 100% like a bro. Because I do have a quote from here. I'm trying to think of like a good voice for Lucien. He'd be like, "Yeah, we also dance with the spirits under the full moon and snatch human babes from the cradles to replace them with changelings."
Hell yeah, dude. It kind of gives me like Kuwabara. He's definitely Kuwabara.
Definitely a Kuwabara.
I don't know that this audience will know what the fuck we're talking about.
Probably not. You're a Meshi, I'm gonna fight you. Tamlin,
you're a Meshi.
Damn you, Tamlin. Come back by the school and fight me.
That's very good.
But this is where we see a bit of a softer side of old Tammy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've seen a softer side.
Yeah,
mostly,
a little bit. But he seems, because even she here says his deep voice, surprisingly gentle. Didn't your mother tell you anything about us? Which is interesting. He says specifically your mother.
Your mama.
Not your dad.
Not your daddy.
He knew, maybe since he saw the dad, he was like, oh, that dipshit doesn't
know a fucking thing.
That could be.
Yeah, so he asks her this, and she says something more or less of like, she didn't have time enough to tell me about this stuff.
Because she's like, I'm not about to tell my backstory.
Yeah.
I'm not about to have a Naruto backstory flashback with these guys.
A 4-episode flashback.
Yes. I'm not about that. Like,
so he instantly gets it, and he's like, how did she die?
Yeah. Because his ass is observant, by the way. He's like, I didn't notice at the 5 minutes woman I spent in your home, I didn't notice the trappings of an older woman in your home.
Right. And we learned that her mom dies from a disease.
Typhus?
Typhus? Bofus?
What did you just say?
Bofa? Bofa D's nuts?
Bofa D's? I think something like that. I can't find it here, but
yeah, and so she expresses this, and he extends his condolences to Feyre after learning of her mother's death. And my last note is just that she hides the knife in her armoire.
Yeah. And she's still planning on winning Lucien to her side. She should offer to like go drink some beers and smash mailboxes.
Dude, that'll
And
get right to his fucking
he'll
heart.
be down. He'll be like,
Dude.
hell yeah, Feyre, let's do it.
Dude, she offers, hey, is there any new blood that needs to be initiated? I'll fucking help you. Dude, he'll eat that shit right up.
Like, yes, 100%.
So,
final thoughts
of
this section, obviously.
This section, I think, did for a book that I feel like, especially compared to like the other stuff I'm reading right now, just does not seem extraordinarily deep or massive or like heavy or dense. I think it did a really good job of like world building and setup, and I have a pretty good understanding of like the space that we're in. So kudos to that.
Yeah, I liked the pacing.
It's very efficient.
It cut, yeah, exactly what I was going to say. I feel like it covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time, but in a good way. It didn't feel like it was super rushed. It was just efficient with its pages, so far.
Yeah, truly. So definitely kudos to that. I'm not immediately intrigued by like Feyre and her I mean, I'm obviously interested in like what she's going to do. She is the main character. But like that's not what stands out to me as intriguing. Like there's a lot of lore that's happening on the sidelines that I think that I am very interested in.
Sure.
I want to learn more about the High Fae. I want to learn more about why the mortals are kept segregated. I want to learn more about this blight.
Yes.
So there's a lot of really cool things that are kind of spinning around our central story that I am very excited to get more of.
I will say the setup so far, and listen, I don't mean this to sound as bad as it's going to sound, but setup seemed a little generic. Like, we called attention to the Beauty and the Beast comparison and, other comparisons like the map to Game of Thrones and such.
Right.
But again, I'm not criticizing or mad about that, where I'm just intrigued by where it's going to go and how it's going to differentiate itself.
Right.
Because obviously I can't believe that something can be this popular and have this many people begging us to do it if it is just a total rehashing of
Beauty and the Beast,
of these other things. Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, maybe it will differentiate itself and is just hardcore horny, which hell yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
But I am intrigued, like you said, by a lot of the lore surrounding.
Yeah, for sure. I think
the edges.
It's almost like here's what it is. I think it feels like, oh man, this might sound mean too, now that I'm thinking about what I'm going to say. It sounds like maybe the template is maybe a little standard or cookie cutter, but so far what's been filling it in has been objectively like good stuff.
Yeah, no. And I've liked the writing style so far. Like
I
said,
that's another, I called it out a couple times. But yes, Sarah J. Maas is in 8 chapters.
Very descriptive.
Yes, I do like it.
I also, even though I called it out at the very beginning, I don't generally like first person perspective. It didn't bother me much at all as I was reading through, which it usually does. So I feel like she's doing a good job. Like I said, obviously we are very new and like this is just the beginning. I am sure it will differentiate and change. That's just my honest feeling so far. Was like little standard, but I hope and think it will for sure get a little, differentiate itself and get a little wild.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if because I don't know if this entire book is just her point of view.
Right. Yeah.
I wonder if we'll get like
varying
like
points.
what's happening like with Nesta and
will we have multiple POV characters?
Yeah, that would be interesting. We know literally nothing. I didn't look at the fucking
I
chapters.
have no
I didn't look at shit. Like we don't know anything.
We know how many chapters are in the book, and that's about it.
Right.
What are your thoughts on like our main character so far?
So, I think that she is. I need to see her like make decisions a little bit more for me to have a stronger feeling. Okay. We hear a lot of her thinking because it's a first person, and we're in her head. But I want to see the things that like she puts to action. To help me kind of like
she hid that knife. She's ready to go, bud.
Yeah, and I mean, and I think that has so far held true to like how she's been painted so far. Mm-hmm. She seems like she wants to be prepared. Like she has like a baseline like sense of maybe duty or responsibility to herself or family. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm having more fun with the people around her so far.
Interesting.
I don't dislike her by any means. Like that's not what I'm saying. She's just like she's just so far has been the vehicle for me to experience the other things. She hasn't been
interesting
like my focus.
Okay. I like her.
Nice.
I like her a lot, actually. I feel like there was that moment where the beast first broke in, and she just stood up to him. Like, obviously she was terrified, but like, tried to protect her family. I like how she was like, yeah, I killed him, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Like, fuck like you guys and all the things that you've done to us. The thing I'm most curious about with her is why she's so set on the promise to her mother when she doesn't seem to have fond feelings for her mother.
Yes. That's a super good call out.
I'm sure we will get more on this. Is it just because that promise is like all she has to cling to?
Could be.
Or is it, like you said, like a cultural thing, like breaking promises is like a big deal in this world? Or is it just she was actually, closer to her mother in a way we don't know about yet? The thing I think I appreciate the most, and if I could for a moment, I want to compare and contrast and shit on your boy here for a little bit. What's the name of that other series you were trying to get me to read?
The Stormlight Archives?
Yeah. What's that guy? What's that?
Kaladin.
Your boy Kaladin.
Kaladin sucks.
Yeah, that dude super sucks. I only read like a third of the way through the first book, but one of my least favorite things that authors can do with characters is where they like introduce them to us in like they're so like down on their luck, like their life is fucking shitty before I even get to know them. And there was a little bit of that here. I wanted to like criticize it, but what separates it apart and what I liked about Feyre specifically is she doesn't wallow. God damn it. Feyre is she doesn't wallow in that misery. Like, there are things that she's bothered by, sure. And we get her inner monologue about that. But she's always thinking of ways to get through it. Like, like her sisters and her father are shitty to her, but she's still like providing for them and constantly thinking about how do I continue to provide for them. And there was never a moment where I felt like she just wallowed in the shittiness of her life like the way Kaladin did for chapter upon chapter upon chapter upon chapter. I did not like what I saw of Kaladin, if that hasn't been clear so far.
I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I mean, you and I have talked a little bit about this off the podcast, but Kaladin, thankfully, that book it has multiple point of views.
Sure.
Mind you, Kaladin's chapters. I mean, this is obviously not a Stormlight.
Sure. Yeah.
Podcast,
sorry, I brought it up though.
Kaladin's chapters offer a lot in terms of like the story that's happening.
Mhm.
So for that, I love that. But I'm saying all this to say that I agree with your comparison, because it maybe took a little longer for it to hit me the way that it bothered you, but it absolutely started bothering me. Like living in that headspace is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
As a reader.
Yeah.
And so yeah, no, she definitely has a little bit more grit, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. Like she's like I said, like she's fucking in that first chapter. She there's this giant, terrifying wolf next to her, and she's like, "Nah, we'll just straight up starve without this deer." You know, like
yeah,
I gotta do
figure
this thing.
out.
Yeah, and I appreciate her willingness to like face those, you know, kind of face her problems head on, honestly. And again, I think the fact that she's, you know, a closet interior designer is also hilarious and awesome. So
hell yeah, dude.
I'm here for that as well.
Hell yeah, my guy.
That was my big takeaway on her.
So are you ready to transition?
Yeah,
here?
hell yeah.
Okay, so one very quick housekeeping announcement, if you will. So first off, we are going back by popular demand. If you followed along through our Game of Thrones series, where we did Who Be Thronin', we are now going to be doing Who Be Courtin'.
Hell yeah, we are.
And if you are a visual listener or watcher,
a visual listener,
I can see the colors, man.
I'm definitely a visual
I can
listener.
hear the colors.
I can hear colors. I can taste thoughts. That doesn't make any sense.
You see our brand new Who Be Courtin', I don't know, whatever you want to call this. Where Scotty and I will be talking about no biases here, just strictly objective placements of these characters and kind of what they're doing, what they're making happen.
MVPs of these chapters.
MVPs of these chapters, for sure. All right, let's do this thing.
Let's do the Who Be Courtin'. Okay, so we have 5 spots here. I don't know. This is what we did for Game of Thrones. I don't know if we're going to keep 5 spots. We probably will, but this always subject to change, bear in mind. And this is me and Zach, who we liked, who we enjoyed the most, ranked 1st through 5th through these chapters. Zachary, I feel like there's no other place to start than I feel like our girl, Feyre, has to be 1, right?
Yes, yeah.
Did I say it right that time? Because I tried really
I'm proud
hard.
Of you, bud.
Okay.
I'm a little afraid that she is going to be a consistent lock on number 1, just because it's point of view and it's. Listen,
if that happens, it is what it is.
Yeah, then good for her.
I think Feyre. I'm trying so hard because this shit really was to be fair. It looks like it. Hooked on phonics worked for me. I think Feyre is an easy peasy number 1. Now here's where it's going to get interesting. I know who I have strong feelings about, but I want you to.
For me, it's mercenary.
Okay, yeah, no, you're right. It is.
Okay,
it is. So we just call her mercenary chick.
Yeah, just like, mercenary.
How do you spell mercenary?
ENARY.
Oh, I'm gonna have to resize this bad boy, Zachy boy. Yoink.
Hey,
some of these names are longer. Okay, mercenary. Yeah, I was gonna write mercenary chick, but that's already too big. Okay.
My pick for next.
This is number 3 for the audio listeners.
My pick for next is probably Tammy. Actually, it might be Alice. Actually,
ooh, Alice is a good one. I was thinking Lucien.
No,
come on. I already love Lucien.
Come on.
But I can shake the Alice at 3rd.
I think Alice is a good pick at 3rd. She's just, I'm interested in her. I think
I'm interested.
I want to know how she came into Tammy's service.
Yeah.
And like why she is giving advice to Feyre.
She seems way more than just like a common servant. Like
Yeah.
Tam specifically said he doesn't keep slaves, by the way. So we know she's here willingly.
Right. Because he can't lie.
He can't lie. We know that for sure. But I don't think, my guess is she's just a different type of fairy. Like she's not a high fae like Lucien and Tam are.
Yeah.
She is cool. I loved how she was like, goddamn, what are you doing? Shit. What the hell? When she comes in and the tripwire thing, but then is also just like, listen, hey, be aware of these things. Watch out for people. Be careful. Watch your ass out there, girl. I'll shake the Alice. I do like Alice. Okay, next has to be Lucien. You got to give me Lucien.
Is that
next.
the spelling of Alice in the book?
ALIS, yes.
Hell yeah. I like that.
You got to give me Lucien.
Oh, dude, I don't know, man.
You got to give me Lucien.
Do you really like Lucien more than Tammy?
Yes. Oh, 100%. He's so funny.
Yeah, but is he an MVP?
Yes.
Tammy gives us so much good lore.
Who else is going to go? I'm assuming Tam and Lucien are our last two. Who the fuck else is going to go on here? Her dad? Nesta?
Yeah. The deer?
The deer.
No, my boy Andres, dude.
I mean, we have unnamed mercenary on this list.
She's pretty high up, too.
She's very high. Also, for all we know, that mercenary could be like there could be a sick twist where she's like the sickest double agent ever.
Yeah.
Actually, that'd make me like her more. So no, maybe she should be one.
Okay, Lucien, seriously, look,
here's the thing,
dude. Lucien is
so
simply comic relief in these chapters. He's a bro.
No, but there's intrigue
Tamlin
surrounding
is the one
him.
that gives like so much richness to the story, at least in this early part of the setup.
But I would agree with you. He lost a lot of points when you called him Tampon. When I found out that people call him Tampon. God. So now I want to put Lucien next.
All right, I'll let you have it. I don't care.
Okay,
I don't actually care that much.
I think that's how it's spelled. Maybe
no, I think it's an E.
I think you might be right. Let me double check here.
I-E-N.
Hang in there, wannabes. Hang in, you filthy commons. Oh.
Yeah, it's Lucien.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, we're going to fix that because Lucien deserves it because he's my guy. All right, and then it's got to be Tamlin.
Yeah, Tammy.
Because again, I don't know. You want me to put Tammy for real?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Because I don't know possibly who else it could be. That feels good. That feels right. I like that. Okay, for our first ever Who Be Courtin' list, we have Tammy at 5, Lucien at 4, Alice at 3, unnamed mercenary chick at 2, and Feyre.
Hey, good job, my boy.
I have to think so hard about it. That is this week's Who Be Courtin'. I promise I'm going to do my best to keep better track of this time. Are we going to do, surely we don't do like rankings, yeah? Because it's just chapters.
Yeah, no, I don't
it's a
think
different
so.
vibe than, I don't think we're going to do rankings this time. Unless, you know what? Maybe we'll do a poll. Do you guys want us to rank random chapters?
Rank the chapters of the order, like in the order that we, or no, maybe not.
No, we're definitely not doing that. There's like 48 chapters. Fuck that.
Yeah.
No, I do actually we are going to have a weekly poll that we are going to put up on the socials. I did just think of one. Here's Zach, unless you have a better idea. I want to know who you all think should have been higher on this list, Tam or Lucien, because that's where we really only had the argument.
Yeah.
Of Tamlin or Lucien.
Well, I mean, Tamlin's gonna. Well, I guess I don't know if people don't like Tamlin.
If they call him Tampon, surely they can't like him that much.
Yeah.
They didn't give you a Lucien nickname, did they?
No.
Lucien sounds like he should be in Underworld. In fact, there might be a Lucien in the Underworld movies, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Anyway.
Hey, so I do want to give you guys, I guess, because we're releasing a few chapters at a time, we want to help kind of pace this thing out for you guys. So obviously this episode, first 8 chapters.
For those who are reading along with us.
For those of you who are reading along with us, we will be doing, 8 chapters now, 10 chapters, 10 chapters, 10 chapters, and then 8 chapters.
Oh, I thought you just repeated it for no reason.
No, yeah,
that's really confusing. What you just
it's
did.
got to amount to 48, right? 48 chapters.
Next episode, we'll be reading the next 10 chapters. Just leave it at that.
Yeah, and then 10 chapters after
you
that,
don't
and then 10 chapters after that,
making it
and
so
then 8 chapters after that.
Oh my God, 10 chapters next time. Is that 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18? Yeah. That's how math works.
Yeah, we just finished chapter 8. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so read through chapter 18. Finish chapter 18 for next time. That's your homework, boys and girls. Zach, take us the hell out of here.
Guys, we appreciate you guys so much for listening and watching. If you guys are new here, please hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, hit the little bell on YouTube, and also we do have a new social media account that we are using for Mythkeepers, as we don't want a podcast is now put to the grave, basically. So go follow us. All of the stuff is here up on the video, and if you're listening to the show, you can find all of our links in the description below, but you'll find us on social medias at Mythkeepers. Again, we appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with us, listening to us talk about this bullshit, and if you're following along with this bullshit. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
You'll always be casuals to me.